Did you do theater before you started doing film and TV?
I did. My friend actually just around the corner, I was stopping by because we were going to read Red tomorrow. Because we're both talking about maybe the summer next year. Because I think I'm going to change my look next year quite drastically. And although I am not, like I know when Molina did it, he was bald, shaved his head. I'm not Rothkonian in size because Rothko is quite round. But again, I don't believe that should fucking matter. Yeah. But it's a great two-hander. And a friend and I are talking, and actually we were also talking about Lonesome West. I wanted to reboot that, but at like Red Cat to do it a bit multimedia, have like film, like I like favorite theaters are St. Anne's Warehouse in New York.
Great space.
Park Armory. And I love Red Cat here. I like theater to be, like what they do at Park, like the life and death of Marina Abramovich was one of the favorite things. Like Willem Dafoe in that was brilliant. Or when I saw Bobby Cannavale do the Hairy Ape at Park Armory.
Right. Yeah. I wanted to see that.
I've seen so many versions of Miss Julie, and recently saw, what was the Brazilian troupe that came into Red Cat a year ago, and it was based loosely, if you will, on Chekhov's Three Sisters. Does anyone know about this?
No, that sounds familiar, but I don't know.
It was fucking brilliant. It was two theaters, and it was 5 hours or 4.5, 5 hours. Not as bad as like Robert LePage, 6-day theatrical event.
I love that stuff.
But it was, you got a red or a blue or whatever. There was two theaters. And what you would do is you'd go first watch the theater version, based on the Three Sisters being that it was the celebration, the birthday, the Three Sisters. But this was also in Portuguese, so it had subtitles in the theater, which is kind of little disconcerting a bit, because you want to watch the play, but you're looking up. Anyways, you went through this and they had video cameras set up like this, and they would take them into the audience. And when everyone was having wine, they invited, people from the audience. You were sort of involved somewhat in it. And there was always people taking cameras and moving them because it was a birthday party and they were documenting the celebration, and it all sort of made sense. Well, what was happening is, so then it 2.5 hours or whatever it was, it's finished. Then you go out and there's a 20-minute break and they do it again, but you switch theaters. And now the other theater is the live movie version that they're real-time editing of the theater production going on that they're doing next door. So all those cameras that all of a sudden you see on the screen, oh my God, I didn't even notice that. In the theater, there's a little tiny house and it's the Three Sisters house, but there was a camera on it that on the screen looks like the house. Yeah. And all of the different angles. And it was interesting, the comparison of like, there was, a sex, if you will, scene, which sex in the theater is always, it takes me out. It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like nudity. And like I saw the worst productions ever of my fucking life, which made me just, the star fucking system was completely on show. Cat on a Hot Tin Roof in London with Sienna Miller, who always gets naked, and Jack, Irish.
I know his name, yeah.
He was in Starred Up. Jack O'Connell.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And also Cole Meany. So, wow, what a cast, right?
You'd think.
Doing Tennessee Williams with 7,000 different accents.
Yeah.
It was all over the place. It was such a mess, and it was a modern stage. But point being with that is he was naked for the first 30 minutes.
Really? Yeah.
Just everything. And I find it it takes me out of it. And then, but watching the film version of when they were rolling around naked, it was so interesting, because then you watch the film version next door and it was sensual and it was like exotic, but watching that on stage was just not appealing.
The accent thing is rough too. I mean, like I saw Killer Joe recently in London, and it was
with
Orlando Bloom.
Yeah. I was there during that time.
Did you see it?
I didn't, because that was at Trafalgar Studios, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, and the acting is terrific. I mean, everyone's terrific, but it's this accent. It's almost like a new accent is created when they try to do the particular region of the South, or any particular region of the South, really. There's some actors who can do it flawlessly, like the McDonough movie.
Martin McDonough in Bruges, or Three Billboards.
Three Billboards. The actors in that who are doing it. But it's an art. I mean, to do that accent perfectly is an art. So I'm like, why not just go with it? Why not work with what you have? You know what I mean? And make your own. Doesn't necessarily have to take place in West Virginia. You know, you can adapt it wherever you want. Just use what you have that's working.
Be much better, because it would not take you then out of it because you're distracted.